Tuesday for the Redneck Garage. Well, the Predators won their second playoff game last night. I had a little bit of doubt going into it. Jennifer was pretty confident. We went down to the second game, and that was super fun. Here's a clip of that. Insanity. So we'll see. Now we're going to Dallas. Have no idea what's going to happen with that. I'm working on the truck today. Today is putting on the second bedside from ToyotaFiberglass.com. I can't say enough about the quality of this fiberglass. It's super thick. I thought at first it would be too flimsy to actually be the side of the bed, but that is not the case. This stuff is like very rigid and well made. So thank you, Corey, for doing such a great job on these. They look just like the factory bedsides, which is exactly what I wanted. So let's take a look at what I got to do to get the second one on. There's a couple little technical notes in there of what I had to do, and let's go from there. I'm almost back to ground zero, right, of what it should look like when you do a repaint. Oh yeah, that seam looks really good, and that's where the water is coming up from the bottom. That salt and rust would go up in that seam. Now I think I'm going to probably glue it right there because of that edge where the wheel well was. Just because it's so rough, I think I'm going to use a little glue there, but I'm going to fiberglass right in that edge right there. So I went ahead and glued in that seam that was a little bit further away from the fiberglass, and then everything else is just fiberglass next to it. Boy, that looks good. Super cool. So this is the fun part of working in the rain. I got a cheap drop cloth and just threw over it so it can dry without the water hitting it, and it should be just fine. And then we can start working on this other side. I want to put the braces. You can see that brace right here. I want to put the other brace on the other side over there before I drop it back down, but and maybe do a little wire wheeling on this, but looking good, looking really good. So I've been cleaning as I go. This is spray-on rubberized coating from Eastwood with rust protection in it. So as I go, I sprayed way down in those crevices, and then on these bars here, I'm going to use some internal frame coating on those also, in addition to underneath. So it should turn out really pretty well as far as like protection goes. About to flip it over and start ripping off the sides on this side. Alright, so I got this side apart through the cussing and the grinding and the hammering and the hitting my hand, and yeah, it wasn't any fun. But let's see what we got going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and just add fiberglass in here because I don't want to add more metal that's going to create another pocket so it can rust out. Fiberglass won't rust. I can treat it with the Eastwood products. This is a pretty good spot, so it's going to take multiple layers right here in this little corner. Got everything cut off the backside just like we did over there, and it should be ready to mount tomorrow once I get this thing prepped. But this hadn't been a lot of fun. Alright, okay, I've sprayed the rust converter on it. You can see that it's starting to turn black. Overnight it'll get even darker, and that just tells you that it's working. And then I'll get some of the black encapsulator paint from Eastwood and paint over it, and then we'll be ready to put the sides on and do some magic with some fiberglass. This is a pretty good size hole we got to cover here. So we'll see how that comes out, but if it comes out as good as the other side, I'll be happy. Well, I got everything painted with the rust encapsulator paint, and I got the bedside set up on there. I also took the tailgate, worried about where it's going to end up, and it couldn't be any better. And if the gap's a little bit wider, I'm okay with that. It's not going to hit either side of the fiberglass, so that is freaking awesome. I've got to put the hardware back on, and I may have to space it just a little bit, but it doesn't get much better than that. All right, here's a few technical notes. If you did decide to get some fiberglass bedsides from ToyotaFiberglass.com, Corey in Canada, which is the best product you can use, man, these things are rock solid. Here's what I found, okay? On these, on the front section, you have to cut it here, take the bolts out, enlarge the holes, and move it forward, and that really gives you the gap for the fiberglass right here. The fiberglass will actually be about the same distance here. You got to make up for the thickness of the glass itself. Everything else is pretty much cleaned up along the edge. And then when you get down here, right on your end piece, I found that you've got to cut back along this outer edge a little bit because the thickness of the fiberglass is thicker than that metal. You want to give it a little bit more room right here for the fiberglass to butt up against right here on the bottom. And you can see over here it got pretty close. So anyway, now I'm ready to put my adhesive on and go ahead and stick this landing. If you watch a prior video, you know what this is. This is 3M panel bonding adhesive. It's about 40 bucks a cartridge, and it glues better than welding a lot of times. So that's what we're using to attach the fiberglass on it. And this stuff works great. Oh wow, so that looks really good. It's got a 90-minute work time and should cure out in about 24 hours. Should be as hard as it's going to get, but it gets rock solid. There's a pretty good size hole that needs fiberglass in there, huh? On the passenger side, the one I already finished, you can see that it's sturdy. It's not moving around at all hardly. With that bar in the top of it, this fiberglass is very substantial. So Corey from ToyotaFiberglass.com, visit him if you want some bad to the bone fiberglass that fits on here like this. It looks freaking awesome, amazing. Wait till it's primered and painted. Thought I'd just give you an example why the beds start to rust on these. You can see that there's seams in between the sides, and over here right here you can see that seam sealer, and you can see it's just dried out after so many years. And what happens is as this dries out, breaks off and brittle, down in those water holding areas right there is the reason why the stinking thing rusts out. Now I'll put some more seam sealer in here. Water doesn't actually sit up in that portion there, but that's really the cause. Salt water and seam sealer coming loose. Alright, so I got the first layer of fiberglass in there. It looks really good all the way up and down, and we'll see, let it dry up, and then we'll go for layer number 2. Alright, so I got the tailgate back on. I still got to put my other bar on there, but I put both brackets on. I fudged the tailgate over to the right just a hair by enlarging these holes and scooting it over, and it looks good. The gap is pretty close on either side. I think this side's just a little bit wider, and I'm going to live with that, and I've got enough clearance here so it doesn't scrape. So that's going to be the tailgate fitment, and let me tell you, I am super happy with the way that looks. Get the tail lights in, we'll be ready to go. Pretty sure we're going to get some more rain here in a few minutes, so I may have to knock off for the rest of the day, but that fiberglass looks freaking smoking good. Well, here comes the rain, so that's probably going to be about it for at least a little while, but I couldn't be happier with the way these fiberglass bedsides have worked out. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a rain out, and that's okay because I'm tired of working on the dang thing today. My takeaways are we're almost back to square one to where we can do paint and prep body work on the truck, which is super. Second thing is that the fiberglass bedsides from Toyota Fiberglass, while pricey because of the shipping from Canada to the United States, are well worth the price of what I paid. I think it was like $1,400 for both sides, shipped, delivered. This bed is going to be like a brand new one, and I don't have to worry about rusting anymore. It's going to look absolutely fabulous. So you know what, no qualms about that. I'm just like super happy about that. Now I'm never going to have to worry about rust in the bed again, and it's going to be rock solid. So that's awesome. Thanks, Corey from ToyotaFiberglass.com. There's a link down below. They have complete beds, which would have been easier, or they have the sides like I have, which actually weren't that bad once I figured out how to do it. So there you go. Thanks, Corey. And now is the time that I start taking off mirrors, door handles, bumpers, grills, all the external parts to get down to everything is going to get painted. That'll be part of what's coming up. Also prepping the bottom side of the bed because we don't want any more rust. So awesome. Any questions, comments, suggestions, leave them below. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.